Grit Daily would like to welcome you to Monday Motivation.
Hey everyone, it's time for Monday Motivation. And this week's article and theme is all dedicated to entrepreneurs because we feel it, we understand. It's a lonely journey and it's tough. You're facing headwinds all the time. When you're trying to start up, well, you've got all kinds of issues trying to assemble the right team, trying to find funding, and all of that sort of good stuff just to get going. And then once you do and you're an established startup, well, the hardships don't stop. You've got team dynamics, you've got shareholder expectations, you've got customer demands, you've got a whole bunch of things that you've got to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So it's natural that once in a while, you're going to be feeling a little bit down. Or maybe you're feeling a little bit stuck and you just need that boost to just keep going, to dig in one more time and find that motivation you need to just keep going. So that's what this week's theme is all about for Monday Motivation for entrepreneurs. And one of the really great quotes that I love from H.G. Wells is, "If you fell down yesterday, stand up today." And that's pretty much the whole theme behind entrepreneurism. When you think about it, we've all heard the big notable failures from Disney to Oprah, all kinds of folks, J.K. Rowling. We know their stories very well. But there's a whole bunch of other entrepreneurs whom we haven't heard the story of, and maybe even some that we have, but it's kind of worth sharing because you don't hear it all the time. Of course, we all know about Steve Jobs. I mean, he was fired from Apple, the company he founded, for goodness sakes, and then he returned, rising like the phoenix from the ashes, and he transformed it into the golden brand that it is today. But what about Fred Smith? You're thinking, I didn't recall the name, and I didn't know this story, so I'm sharing it with you. He developed this concept of commercial shipping as a service as his Yale term paper, like way back in the day. His professor totally panned it, gave it a C- and said, the idea is interesting, but simply not feasible. 2 years later, Fred was in business, he had a couple of planes, enormous debt, and then a gas shortage hit and his primary investor bailed out. He had only $5,000 left, so, and this is totally crazy, definitely don't recommend this plan. He went to Las Vegas and he played blackjack until he won $27,000, which got him through the week until he found a new investor. And then there's Nick Goodman. He launched not one, but two tech startups, earned a ton of capital, or I should say raised a ton of capital. Both of them failed miserably. In fact, so badly that he earned the dubious distinction of being named on the effedcompany.com list of failures. That's not a list you want to be on. His confidence was shaken, but he returned to his passion of surfing until he had more inspiration and started thinking about ways that he could fix a camera and attach it to his wristband so he could do really cool action shots and films. And he thought, well, I've got to learn to ride fear as a wave. And the whole mantra of evolve or die was one that he'd already adopted. And so he obsessed over his new product. He played with it, he fixed it. He toiled 18-hour days and he learned to sell like a rock star. Stayed 100% focused on his end goal. And of course, we all know that story. Today, GoPro is worth more than $3 billion, even though its growth has been flat for several years and the analysts aren't wholly impressed about it. But ask Nick if that matters now. So here we go. Monday motivation tips to dig in again, because you may be so overwhelmed by all that you have to do. You're drowning in Trello cards, Jira tasks, and Slacks. So now what? Well, a great quote by Wayne Dyer is, "You can choose to be miserable or motivate yourself. Whatever has to be done, it's always your choice." So coaching tip number 1, have a plan. Ideally, you need to have your 30, 60, 90-day plans along with your 6-month, 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years plans mapped out to at least some degree. If you don't have a clear plan for at least the next 30 to 60 days, you are going to be highly stressed out. Having a plan and working towards it, even if there's a little bit of a slippage, has a much greater probability of success than winging it with no plan at all. In the words of Eckhart Tolle, stress is caused by being here, but wanting to be there. Tip number 2, practice gratitude and forest bathing. Yeah, you're probably saying, yeah, I've heard that a million times. Everybody tells me, wake up in the morning and make your first thought one about gratitude so that the whole day is happy, like whatever. But there's a reason why you hear it all the time, because it works. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, when you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to live, to love. And we've recently talked about the importance of spending time with nature, and even if it's limited, like a walk around the block or anything else like that, well, there's all kinds of options. Just a bit of fresh air. Go take a look outside. Take note of the cute dogs, the bird songs, the flowers, and all the other gifts from nature. Life is full of beauty. Notice it. Notice the bumblebee, the small child, and the smiling faces. Smell the rain and feel the wind. Live your life to the fullest potential and fight for your dreams, in the words of Ashley Smith. Tip number 3, skip out once in a while. Yep, that's right. Now, too much of anything is rarely a good thing, so there is a very, very clear line here. But if you wake up, you feel like dirt, nothing's going right, you're burnt out, stressed out, you don't have it in you to put in a productive day, then skip out. Or maybe you had a total crap day and all kinds of bad things happened and you're just not ready, to deal with whatever else. So give yourself some space to work through it on your own. Cancel whatever you were going to have to do that day. Now, you do not get a pass if it was a board meeting or investor meetings. You're just going to have to suck it up. But make an alternate plan. Be spontaneous. Drive to the beach if that's available. Get a massage, mani-pedi, whatever. Take a hike, pack a picnic. Spend some time with yourself and without your cell phone. Chill out for a bit. Give yourself a bit of me time. And then figure out what went wrong, why it went wrong, and learn from your failures. Even Sir Richard Branson had zillions of failures, and look at him now. He says, do not be embarrassed by your failures. Learn from them and run again. And on the topic of perseverance, which is a whole theme that all entrepreneurs have to understand and have to practice every day, or it's just not going to go. Today marks my 200th article with Grit Daily News. So how's that? You keep at it. Have a fabulous week and never, ever give up.
Follow us at Grit Daily on social media and listen to all of our podcasts, including Like a Boss on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, or your favorite platform. For special guest submissions, email Loralyn at gritdaily.com.